Hi, I'm Gia. I don't wear a lot of makeup and I have some specific questions to ask Jessica about. First thing is, I have very hooded eyes and I've watched a lot of videos on YouTube and try to get tutorials about how to correctly apply eyeshadow to make my eyes look bigger and less hooded. The problem that I found is that I find the video and the person that is demonstrating it on themselves or on somebody else, they don't have hooded eyes. I want to see somebody with my hooded eyes, as bad as mine are, and having the technique done on them. The second thing is, I have a very round face and I don't really have pronounced cheekbones. I'd like to get tips from Jessica today about how to correctly apply blush for me with my shaped face.
Awesome questions, Gia. We're going to get right to it. But first, I want to see this moisturizer you've been telling me about.
This is pretty cool. So this is your jam. Yeah, I've used it for years. I get it at Target. You don't need very much, and it's very, very light. I sweat a lot, especially in the summer. And with this kind of humidity in Georgia, it's tough to have a lotion that keeps you moisturized and doesn't make you get more sweaty. So I think it feels good, it feels light. I don't like wearing a lot of things on my face anyway, and this has been just a tremendous find.
I'm using Ilia, which is a clean beauty brand. This is their liquid powder eyeshadow in the shade Dim, which is a neutral plum. I'm going to show you a little bit on my palette paper. Now, I'm going to be using an eyeshadow brush, but you could easily put this on with your fingertips. It's super blendable. I want you to go a little bit above the crease. So when you open your eyes, you should still be able to see this color, and then put a little bit under the lower lash line. We're going to put something on top, which may surprise you. I'm using Gia's bronzing powder as an eyeshadow. This is also from Ilia. It's called Drawn In. It's very neutral. I want you to use it liberally. It's easy to blend. Go above your crease and then a little bit underneath.
See it above it too, but on camera it really doesn't look like we did much.
It's very subtle.
If you've watched my other videos, you know that you have to curl your lashes. This is huge. It's going to lift your eyelashes up, which in turn, that's going to lift some of that excess skin that you have if you have a hooded eye. Very important step here. Now we're on to mascara, and I'm using, again, the clean beauty brand Ilia. This is their Limitless Lash, which isn't the volumizing, it's more of a lengthening. So you can see I'm actually pulling up to try to get the mascara at the very root of the lash. And you can see the difference it's already making. Now I'm going in with their clean gel eyeliner. This is in a rich black pigment, and the placement is very important for this liner. I'm going to lift Gia's lash line, and I'm trying to get that little bit of skin underneath the lashes. It's much easier to do on yourself, I can tell you that. But the placement is really important to give the eyes as much impact as possible. I wouldn't use this color as something to define the lower lash line. So what I'm going to do is get a brown matte eyeshadow on kind of a pointed eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to go along the lower lash line. Now for the brows, I'm using a taupe brow pencil. I'm coloring in below where the hairs are. That's usually where most of us have overplucked, and maybe we've made it a little bit too round, which will make you look like your hooded eye is protruding out even more. You want to kind of straighten that brow line instead of having it like a McDonald's arch where it looks kind of surprised all the time and a little bit too round. Now I'm going in, and you're going to really be able to tell where the pencil marks are because I'm using this brow gel, which is colored, and I'm grabbing the hairs so you can kind of see where my pencil line looks a little fake. So I'm going back the opposite way with the brow gel to kind of color some on the skin so it looks like there's hair there. The next step is to have a brush with nothing on it. So you can use a mascara spoolie. Some of my clients buy an extra toothbrush and they just brush with that, but you want to brush through the hairs and make sure they're all symmetrical and all facing the same way. To me, the brows do a lot to help with hooded eyes. I think Gia agrees with me.
Wear makeup to go to 5 products, but it's a bronzer, you know, it's some stuff that
But it's quick. See,
Yeah.
it's one thing if it's a lot of things, but if it takes forever, that's worse.
Yeah.
I'd rather have more things that don't take a long time than one thing that takes 20 minutes.
I'm using concealer instead of foundation, and I chose a really lightweight formula. This is a serum concealer. You can see the texture and the color that we're working with. Gia described to me when we were talking about her moisturizer that she doesn't like to have a lot of things on her face. So I had a feeling if I did a foundation, it would just feel too goopy for her and she would not want to wear it. So I'm taking an eyeshadow brush, I'm using the concealer, and whatever's on the brush, I just keep applying it and smoothing it on with my fingers. I'm not dipping back in a bunch of times to grab more product. I'm trying to use as little as possible. The brush actually helps me do that too. Sometimes with your fingertips, you can grab like a little bit too much product, but the brush, the fibers on the brush are going to help you get a really sheer layer, which I think is going to feel more comfortable for Gia. I don't usually use concealer instead of foundation all over, but with this formula and with the way she described how she wants to feel, I think it's going to be a good match. Let's check in and see how she feels.
You know that feeling?
Not really. It's not,
good?
it's not, it's very, I think the application when you're blending, I think that makes a big difference, and putting it on lightly.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm equating like the product
Yes.
with, oh, it's so heavy, but it's not the product's fault. It's
It could be how
the
much
artist's
we put on.
fault,
How much
like
we put
meeting
on.
me. Yeah.
No, you do a good job.
But one big thing I've learned from your videos is blending. I mean, I never,
Yeah.
saw or knew what a difference that makes.
Next up is SPF 20.
So my face right now feels like I'm not wearing anything, which is amazing because I equate, foundation or concealer with feeling, cakey or like my skin can't breathe, and this is very, very light. So if I have coverage and this is it, then I'm in.
All right.
I love an SPF in a powder form. If you look at any of your liquid sunblocks, I promise you the small print says reapply every 2 hours, which most of us don't. The powder format SPF do not have to be reapplied and you'll have the coverage all day. You'll also notice that I've left one side of Gia's face totally undone. I want her to feel the difference between the two sides.
This feels, it feels like nothing,
Yes.
which is good, which is a good thing.
All right, now we're back to that bronzer. We're going to use it all over the face.
Good. Yeah, it's nice. It's giving you a blur, but it's not like a heavy.
So what's the philosophy of the bronzer on after everything else? That just tones everything down or up? Or?
Gives you all the same color, because a lot of people have, like you do, darkest on the chest, the most pale right here, because how is the sun going to hit there, and then medium on the face.
So it evens you out.
Yeah, so you felt where I went first was here with a lot of coverage, a little bit here, and then some on the top.
Okay.
So if you took a picture right now, this is such a different color from this. It's going to change. It's almost like anti-contouring. Do you know what I mean? It's doing the opposite of what I would want to do with contouring. So I use it a lot on the neck, and then to finish out. Make everything the same color is what I'm trying to do. It also makes your neck look a little longer and thinner.
Well, pile it on then.
You're like, let's go.
Makeup is pretty fun, isn't it? Now we're on to the lips. I'm using an NYX Nude Beige lip pencil, which is one of my favorite lip pencils, and it's only $4, which makes it even better. I'm sort of carving out the shape right around Gia's natural lip line. I'm cheating a little bit to make them bigger, but she has such full lips, you really don't even have to cheat them. I'm going to fill in next with a neutral cranberry color from Ilia, and this lip pencil gives me the freedom to fill it in with any lip color that I choose. It's just a great basic to have. Here we are. This is Ilia's Balmy Tint in the shade Lady, which is that neutral cranberry I was telling you about. I get a nice layer on just by applying it straight to the lips. And then I'm going to go in with my Makeup Forever lip brush, which Makeup Forever and Merle Norman, believe it or not, and Smith brushes have the best makeup brushes. They last forever. They hold their shape. So right now I'm using my Makeup Forever to get this lip balm to go on like a sophisticated lipstick would. So you can get a really nice precision using the lip brush instead of just putting it on out of the tube. It's a little bit dressier for maybe a night out or a photograph. But you could use this every day, this balmy tint, and I would even think you could use a little bit of it on the cheeks too.
Seriously. See, I would never pick this lip color for myself. I would run the other way from this color. I would run fast.
That's so great. Okay, so you would never wear that lip.
No, but I think it looks fine. I just would never pick this. And this is why it's so important to watch your stuff, because you learn to think outside your own box of your comfort zone and try new things. I mean, why not try it? And then you go, oh my gosh.
Really well, but
Cool, fun. This is exactly what, I mean, this is the kind of thing that I, was hoping to.
to have happen.
Yes.
Right?
I like
Because
it.
of her eyes, really.
I like it.
With you.
Okay, now that we got Gia's approval and it feels lightweight, I'm going through the same steps that I did on the first side and kind of just making sure that everything is even. The eye shapes are the same. I'm going to use a little bit of that matte brown shadow to define around the eyes. And I'm doing something a little bit different now. I'm taking that dark brown shadow and I'm coloring in the outer third of the eye. If I can get this area to look lengthened, then the hooded eye shape that's super round, it becomes more drawn out, more like a cat eye and a little bit less round looking, which lessens the appearance of the hooding. So that's why I chose to do that now. The brow shape lends such strength to the shape of the eye. It makes everything look lengthened instead of it being protruding and really hooded. So make sure you have this kind of straight arch underneath. The underside of your brow is super important if you have hooded lids. You don't want that rounded brow shape. It's going to make everything look more hooded. So you can see the side by side when she looks forward that her eye looks like it's almost lifted up and back because of that brow shape. Now we're shaping the lips again. It's nice to see the side by side because you can tell where I cheated just a little bit with the lip liner. We've got the SPF 20 powder, and now I'm kind of contouring with that bronzer, which is such a subtle shade, but it really matches her skin tone.
Tilt down just a little. You really have a lot on, but it looks like you could have woke up like this.
Now for the blush. I'm using Ilia's multi-stick in the shade Dreamer, which is a close cousin to the lipstick that we used.
Okay, so I would do here.
Okay.
Pop it on, and then we're going to blend it in. It's tempting, to be honest with you. You're kind of tempting to go here, but I want to kind of contour with it a little bit, so I'm going a little further
That's
away.
where I would do it, is in the front. And I think that's wrong, because I don't know.
For some reason, I'd say it's here. It's
Okay.
almost like the outer corner of your eye below it, if that would make sense.
It does. It's like midway between my ear and my nose.
Yeah.
Right?
But you could do the wholesome apple thing.
You want to try it on this side and just see what it looks like differently?
Yeah, do you?
Sure.
And smile. So let's see if we pop it in the middle.
Makes your lips pop too by having a little bit lighter color.
Yeah, to kind of.
Not compete.
Okay, so let's see, which side do we like better now? Okay, let's see this side. What do you think, Gia? Which side feels better?
This one makes I think, accentuates my cheekbone more.
Yeah, I like the contour of that one. It gives you a little bit of a contour.
It's almost like one side is very natural, the little
Yeah, this is like, yeah.
natural.
They're both okay, actually.
Yeah.
So which one would you wear for tonight?
I think this
Yeah,
one.
because it gives you a
This I
little
think for day, this I think for night.
That gives you a lot. That gives you a
Yeah.
lot. If that, you
But
can
the same
keep
same
them
color, just a different placement, which is interesting.
You look so warm. You look like you could be in a commercial right now, Gia.
Wow. My skin looks so nice, and it even feels even better, which is amazing. You're a magician.
This was a fun one. I love that we explored different blush shapes, and I feel like we elongated the eyes, which took away some of the appearance of the hooding. And Gia, you look stunning. Thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for my next video.